Calling with JDK. We hardly talk about kicks in the school. I don't really know why, because apparently we are a taekwondo school. I'm going to look at a bait and switch kind of tactic. I'm going to look at another illegal kick apparently that we're not supposed to be using, a thigh kick. And typically, usually, you see a thigh kick, can I get into fighting sense? A thigh kick being leveraged at a distance. So I want to then keep on pecking at his leg and apply some pain so that eventually in a tournament situation, he'll be unable to use that leg in the next few rounds, right? In JDK, we typically, in looking at the thigh kick, don't really kick out at a distance. We come in and we actually strike from a much closer range. So we're using the hands, we're using the legs, kind of complementary with each other, and we're making connection on the upper part of the shin. So the prevalence of a long-range thigh kick is reduced because we want to be able to use more than one weapon at one time and then combine it with some of the other follow-ups that we have at close range. Now, if I were to apply a thigh kick, he would not want that thigh kick to connect, or at least he doesn't know. If he gets that thigh kick and he wears it, that's his problem. But if a thinking fighter feels a thigh kick and sees another one coming, yes, the thigh would be pulled away somehow, would be flexed aside, yeah, exactly, lifted up, pulled back, and then you're not able to make a connection, meaning that he sees this huge motion and he does something with this leg, and the leg, once you actually change the level or the angle, then the impact, the perpendicular impact of my kick is dissipated, right? In fact, in our system, if the kick comes high, you are able to also then use your hands and drop down and deflect the kick away. So now what we're doing is, I'm going to bait him by throwing what looks like a thigh kick, which is an adequate weapon. I see something that he's done, and I don't want it to collide with my shin. In all honesty, I don't actually train my shin, or I haven't trained my shin in many, many years. And therefore, I know that if I connect with the lower bit of my shin and he's moved this, it'll hurt me quite a bit. So I then choose to pull that kick in. I don't extend and unfurl the leg. I throw the swing, I pull the leg, and then I end up here. So while it looks like a sportive technique, it really isn't, because you are using non-sportive type techniques. Plus you're then recovering and making sure that you're able to fire that. So as I throw this leg, I end up here, and I'm then going to use a side kick and leveraging from this angle to then fire this kick back. So that's my counter or plan B. If that leg is pulled back, this still works. You can work towards the knee or you can work towards the body. The only difficulty most people actually experience when using the side kick is if you spin the person around. So go ahead and take a turn. So So when the back is shown, people then stop for some reason. And remember, the side kick can be leveraged against the floating ribs or the back of the legs. And obviously not very kosher for competition type sparring, especially if you want to keep continuing with those competitions, but otherwise a very legitimate target. Remember, when you actually go for the back of the legs, if the leg is a little bit flexed, you're not really going to do a lot of damage. So turn, get your hand onto the shoulder, work on the structure, and then pull the opponent down. So you're going to take one bit of his structure, of his base, and then the flexing of the shoulder backwards brings him down to the floor. So again, with that front leg, I'm going to turn, I go stop here, I do a side kick. If you pull that leg back, then I basically go for that front leg. Make sure that the hand is actually fairly close. Turn down, pull back, oh, you're not in frame. Wow. Wow. And pull back. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Excellent. Bait and switch. send one kick out to the front leg, and then from where your leg lands, fire the kick. Don't rejig or reconfigure your position. Where that leg lands, as soon as it lands, you bounce it back up the floor and fire it back at the opponent. Thank you very much.